Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Melanin Margin, the weekly chat show where conversations about race are never off the table. We're your hosts, Quaviondre Williams.
And Daquon Wilson.
So let's get into this week's conversation. What's hot on the table this week?
In an article written on News One by Zach Lindley, we learned that over the weekend, hip hop veteran and MAGA on the mic minion Kanye West found himself locked out of his Twitter and Instagram accounts after he vowed to go, quote, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, threatening, quote, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda, end quote. Which, besides being horrifically anti Semitic, makes no sense because Ye is literally everywhere all the time, despite the offensive nonsense he's constantly spewing and has never come close to being blackballed by any platform. Ye's social media accounts needed to be suspended for clear and blatant bigotry. He needed to be dragged mercilessly for what he posted, and he was. But Sarah Silverman, of all people, needed to sit this one out. She said, quote, Kanye threatened the Jews yesterday on Twitter, and it's not even trending. Why do mostly only Jews speak up against Jewish hate? The silence is so loud, end quote, even though the news about Ye's comments were trending the day prior. A black man on Twitter responded to Silverman's original tweet by pointing out that, quote, Black Twitter has been all over this, so it's not mostly Jews, end quote. Apparently, Silverman was offended by the implication that, quote, the onus is on me to call out all people being silent, end quote, which really made no sense since she was just being corrected after generalizing that all non-Jewish people were silent. So, Andre, with all that being said, what do you think about the backlash Silverman is receiving from Black Twitter?
Sarah Silverman popped off without having all of her facts in order, which is unsurprising because one thing whiteness has, it's the audacity.
The
What really
caucasity.
the caucasity of it all. Like what really just ticked me off about what she said was the silence is so loud little bit that she did. I mean, it was so condescending and so incorrect and so disrespectful to all the non Jewish people who have been and still are discussing how dangerous Ye's comments were and how what he said was in no way, shape, or form okay. Like, she was so far removed from the conversation that she didn't even do one Google or Twitter search to see that there was uproar so loud that not only was Ye rightfully locked out of his Instagram, but Twitter quickly followed suit to lock him out of his account there as well. Like, if there was so much silence about it, all of his accounts would have been perfectly fine. And since you say that only Jewish people speak up about Jewish hate, are you not forgetting the uproar about Whoopi Goldberg's statement about the Holocaust, where many non-Jewish and Jewish people alike were quick to respectfully gather her, so much so that the producers suspended her from The View for 2 weeks to reflect on what she said? So, like, in the words of Shangela Laquifa Wadley, hold on, pause, sweetheart. Let's get it together before you want to read. Are there situations where the hate for marginalized communities are simply swept under the rug and ignored entirely? 100%. But this is not one of those situations, Miss Silverman.
Girl, I think that, whatever paint Sarah Silverman used to do blackface that one time, the fumes got to her head and made her delusional because this is just delusion. Like, if you were on Black Twitter, if you were on Twitter, period, you would have seen a lot of things being said about what Kanye tweeted and what Kanye was saying. And I don't know what, high horse she's on or what little part of the world that she's in to not get any of that. But I think that this is a really dangerous conversation to have because I think
Yes.
time and time again, you have people pitting people against each other rather than speaking up about what is the crux of this.
Yeah.
If Sarah Silverman was just like, oh, I wish a little bit more people were speaking about this. That would be one thing. But
Yeah.
specifically targeting, oh, y'all aren't speaking about this. Y'all love to never speak about Jewish issues and make a broad generalization really damages what a lot of Jewish activists have been trying to work on.
Exactly.
And it completely undermines all the work that they've done. So this was a time Sarah Silverman should have been like, you know what, I am upset about this conversation. She should have given her points on Ye's comments and
Yeah.
kept it a buck 20 and moved on. But no, she wanted to make this something bigger and something that it's not. When in reality, she's just so far removed from what a lot of people are saying. Because you have to realize once you get to the point of being Sarah Silverman level, you're not really in the conversations in mass. You are
Hmm.
seeing your very curated social media
Yes.
platform
Yeah.
versus what everybody else is seeing.
The
So
everyday
in this
person.
situation, she did not have the purview to talk about what's going on.
Also, I think that there's like we've been telling people that Ye has been consistently problematic. Like we've talked about him before on this show, but at this point, it's feeling really redundant. Like we know he has mental health issues, but it looks like he doesn't have anyone in his team who either respects or he respects enough or cares about him enough to make sure that he's taking his medication to regulate his moods, because he's expressed that he struggles with bipolar disorder, which includes manic paranoia. And I'm not a doctor, but from the behaviors he's displaying, it seems like he might be off his meds. But this is like a really troubling situation because we all know that mental disorders can explain, but it doesn't always excuse the actions of a mentally unwell person. So it really begs the question, like how much of what he's been saying is his true nature or is a result of his manic hyper paranoid state. Like I don't know, but like what I do know is that if there are people in his life that truly love and want what's best for him, that they get him the help that he needs. But until then, I think he absolutely needs to remain suspended and locked out of all his social media accounts, because as a celebrity with such a massive following, regardless of if his comments are a result of his mental disorder or not, a mentally unwell person should not have access to a massive platform where they could unintentionally or intentionally encourage dangerous people to enact violence on any community. I mean, we've seen what happens when dangerous rhetoric is platformed on a grand scale. I mean, even in recent news, it's how the insurrection at the Capitol happened. Like, it's so fucking irritating when we have been consistently saying Ye is a problem, Ye is a problem, Ye is a problem, and then no one's like, oh well, he's a problem for y'all, like he's a problem for the niggas, he's a problem for us. And then now that his discussions have been moving towards anti-Semitism, when we've already told y'all that he has been fucking up and that he's not in his right mind right now, or that he needs to get some help, and that he is spewing some very dangerous rhetoric. Now y'all want to be like, oh, maybe y'all was right. We've been telling y'all that. We've been telling y'all that he was fucking up and he was not all the way there. So it's just like, it's really frustrating to me that like everybody's just so aghast at what he said. And I'm kind of like, this is something that I'm not surprised about from what he's displayed before. It's wrong, it's disgusting, and he absolutely should be held accountable for that. But once again, the Black community has been telling y'all, been telling y'all that he's been anti-Black. He has been spewing white supremacist rhetoric, and a part of white supremacist rhetoric is anti-Semitism.
Exactly. And it's one of these things, like you said, I think that there are certain conversations that are getting a little tired. Like, yes, Ye has talked about having mental health issues, but like you said, mental health issues can explain something, but it's not an excuse for something. And I think
Exactly.
people have also been talking about how, when his mom was still alive, he was saying some crazy things, but since his mom died, it's gotten even crazier. And yet again, could be an explanation, losing somebody that could have been the person to keep you grounded or bring you back when you do have these manic episodes. losing that person can cause a lot of pain and cause a lot of disruption. But again, it is not a way to excuse what he's talking about. He
Yeah,
is doing something that's inexcusable. Anti-Semitism is inexcusable. Racism
exactly.
is inexcusable. Bigotry, period, is inexcusable. So in this situation, the right action was taken. He violated guidelines. He put dangerous rhetoric out there, and social media was like, we're going to have that social media account. We're going to take that away from you. You take a timeout, and took it away from him like they should have. And so it really just creates this conversation about what people are doing next. And I think that, especially people like Sarah Silverman, you can't really stop Kanye's thoughts unless you are close to him. We can call him out, hold him accountable,
Yeah,
this and that, and that could help to a certain extent. It gets his account taken away, and so for that time, he's not posting more dangerous rhetoric.
yeah.
But really, change is going to come from him and those people who are closest around him.